Welcome back, Renegade GCM. Today we have gameplay with Purple Yellow Pudding versus Blackbeard in OP09. Alright, so opponent chooses to go second. So we're just going to get a Dawn and play out our Charlotte Pudding Searcher, getting a Flampe. Passing the turn over to the opponent. So Pudding has a lot of on-play effects, so depending on how the opponent plays out their leader effect, we could be struggling here to close out the game. But we are a ramp deck, essentially, so we might be able to ramp out and apply enough pressure before the opponent gets to stabilize. So they're going to play out a Lafitte, resting their Lafitte here. And they got a Jesus Burgess. Alright, so passing the turn, we drew into a 4-drop Sanji blocker. We're going to put 3 onto our Pudding character, go 5 into life here. See what the opponent wants to do. We probably should have pressured the Lafitte first, just so that we can slow down on their searching. So they're going to counter out here with the Laboon, which is good, because we don't like Laboon. And now we're going to attack into the Lafitte, using leader effect to ramp us Arrested Dawn and flip our top 2 life cards face up. We reveal a Brûlée and a Missile Sunday, so both have trigger abilities from life, which is good. So back over to the opponent, they're at 4 Dawn. I'm going to be wrapping up my Pudding gameplay for OP09 here in the next few days. I'll be putting up the videos for that, trying to get these rogue leaders against the meta leaders here. So we just countered out here. So we got a couple 2Ks in hand. We have a 6-7 Newgate. So they're going to play out a Laboon. Let's see if he wants to use leader effect, because we're 3, 4. We'll be at 6 Dawn. So they didn't use leader effect here. So we're going to play out our... we can add top card of our deck to our life, then look at our life cards, put one on top of our deck, return them back in any order. So we're going to do this here. So we're going to put one of our face-up cards back on top of our life, and then just kind of move our Brûlée down so we can use leader effect to ramp another Dawn. So we showed a Sanji and a Linlin, the 9-drop. So we're at 7 Dawn currently. The opponent's at 4. They'll be at 6 on their turn. They did take that hit. Waiting to see if they want to resolve their trigger, which they do not. So we will end the turn and pass it over to them. So we got a couple blockers, a couple 2Ks. We have the 10-drop Big Mom. Whether we get to resolve it or not, it's still a 12K body. So here we're just going to wait. Oh, the opponent's going to come 5 into life. We're going to take that first hit. When I reorganized the life, I probably should have put Linlin on top. That way it was in hand. That way it was a potential deployment for next turn. So we're going to play out a Van Augur here and another Lafitte. Opponent has 5 cards in hand, so we'll see if they use leader effect here. They do. Okay. So we're at 9 Dawn here. We're going to put 3 on the character pudding, go 5 into life. See if we can pressure life here with the opponent only having 4 cards. They take the first hit. So we're just going to push back with 5 more with leader. And they counter out with this one. So we're going to just swing the Newgate first. 7 into 5 here. So we got another life from them. And here we're just going to deploy out the 6-drop Sanchi here. Because with what they have on the field, all they need is a Daku or any removal spell, and they can pretty much take anything out. So just putting a 6k body out gives them another target outside of our 6-7 body. So the opponent's at 8 Dawn, so they can't drop the 10-drop yet. So we still have plenty of 2Ks in hand. We have Miss All Sunday, which probably won't be useful in this match if they keep shutting off leader effects. But if the opponent misses a turn of shutting off our leader effect or off our on-play effects, we definitely have answers with the 10-drop, the 9-drop coming. So we're gonna give them a 2K here, just because they still have quite a bit of Dawn, and they still have like 2 viable swings. Here they're gonna play a Doc Q, which now they can rest if they want to use both the Van Augur and the Laboon. So they're gonna give the Newgate -3, and then another -4 with Laboon, and then Doc Q to take it out. So that was 3 cards to get rid of 1, so that works for us. So they're going to wrestle Lafitte here. Let's see what they grab. So they got a Shiru, which is a 2K for them. They're going to play out a Burgess. Okay. So now we're at 10 Dawn. They didn't shut off our leader effect, which is great. So we're going to pressure into the Doc Q here with the Pudding Searcher, the 2K. And then we're going to pressure with 5. We're going to go into life here. So they're going to counter out. Now we're going to play the 10-drop, gaining a life and trashing their life. And now we're going to go 6 into the Laboon. See if they want to give us a 2K worth a counter. They still have 5 cards in hand, so. And we know they have a 2K with the Shiru. But they let it go. Let me just pass it over to them. So we were able to establish the 10-drop Big Mom. And got to use her on play effect, which was huge. But now the opponent's at 10 Dawn, so they can also answer back with their 10-drop Teach blocker. But we still have a couple 2Ks in hand. Yep, here comes the 10-drop blocker here. Let's see if they'll use their blocker effect, the 10-drops effect, to shut off our Big Mom from swinging. Yep, okay. Figured that was going to be the target there. So they still have some swings here. They have a 6, they have a 7, and they have a 5. So they can definitely pressure into us But we do have some counter. So they're going to go 6 into life here. We're going to take that first hit. We still have 3 life, so we're not, like, in terrible danger here. So here we're going to give them a 2 and a 1. Yeah, it probably made more sense to counter out of the 6 for the 2, but we're going to counter with 1 here. So now that's pretty much what they can do for their turn. And they did use their leader effect to shut off our own plays for this turn. So they have 1 blocker. They have 4 life, or 4 cards, 1 life. So we're going to pressure 7 into 5 here with our little pudding searcher. She's been putting in some work this game. And they haven't really taken care of it, so we're going to keep using it. So they did counter out. They double countered here for double 2K. So they have 2 cards in life, or 2 cards in hand still, 1 life. They still have their blocker. We still have 2 swings. So we can go. They have 2 cards, 1 life, 1 blocker. So we can't go for game this turn because of the blocker. So we're going to go 8 onto our. We're going to go 9 into their Jesus Burgess here with our leader. See if they want to counter out, let it go, use their blocker. They let it go. Okay. We were debating if we wanted to swing pressure with the Sanji, but they would have just used their blocker at that point, and then our Sanji would have been rested, so it wouldn't have made any sense to attack. So back over to the opponent. They're at 3 cards, 1 life. We have 2 2Ks in hand. And we do have the Lin on top of life, followed by a Brule, which has the trigger. We can play it, and it is blocker, so. Okay. So they're going to play out their stage here. And a Laboon. 1 card in hand. See what the opponent wants to do. They still have 4 Dawn. So they use a little feet and got another 10 drop, so they have no counter card in hand, plus a card we don't know yet. So at most they can have 2K counter in hand. Technically they can have 3K if they do run the 0 drop black event. I'm not sure if this list. I know that the traditional list of Blackbeard doesn't usually run it, but it is an option and it's something we should keep in mind. So they're going to finally go after the pudding, the 2 drop, or the 1 drop pudding. We're going to let them have it. It's definitely did its job this game. So now they're going to go 6 into life here. That's a 2K. And they're going to play another blocker. So now they have 2 blockers, so we can't go for game. And they did shut off our own plays. Okay. So we're just going to chip 5. They have to use a blocker or give us their life, either way. So they gave up they used their 12K blocker. And I'm going to go 6 and a 5. Once again, they had to give us that last life or their blocker. So they took the last life here, and I still have their blocker. We have a 12k. Oh, they're going to use their trigger effect, and they got a 2k. Okay, so we know that they have a 2k in hand with Shiru. So we're just going to go 12 and a 5 here, forcing them to use their last blocker. They did shut off our on plays. So we're just going to deploy another 10 drop 12k body. We still have a 2k in hand, and then we also have the 0 drop event plus the Miss All Sunday for 3k. Opponent does have technically 5 swings if they want to. But we do have the Brûlée still in life, so that'll come out as a blocker onto the field. Alright, so they're using their stage, trashing the Van Augur, and getting another 10 drop teach. So we know they have a 2k in hand and then nothing else. But they haven't used any of their Dawn yet, so that's actually pretty good for them because they can deploy the second 10 drop if they want. But we do have counter in hand, so they're not going to be able to take out the 10 drop Big Mom that's rested unless they have to choose whether they want to play the 10 drop, their 10 drop, or take out our 10 drop. Here I'm just seeing how many more of the 10 drops they have left. Look like they have one more left in deck. So we were only really able this game to get the 10 drop Big Mom to get her on play one time. So, sorry. So 5 and a 5 here. We take that hit, get the Lin to hand. They're going to go 5 again. Now we only have a 2k or a 3k. We're going to take this so we can deploy our Brûlée. Maybe we should have countered out of those two 5k swings with what we had in hand. Just to keep our life total a little bit more secure. But realistically, they shouldn't pressure us with their 10 drop blocker because they need that. Unless they're going to try to go for game, which they'll have 2 swings. So they're going to go 6 into Sanji here. We're going to give them the 2k here. Protect our board. So here they're going to play out the 10 drop. Probably locking down. Yep, they locked down our 1. And then passed it over to us. They did not shut off our on-play abilities. But it's kind of irrelevant. Because we don't really have anything to play out this turn that's going to make a difference. So we're going to go 6 into 5 here. Get that last 2k out of hand. Alright, so now we're going to go with a 12, which they'll use a blocker on. Yep. And we're going to just go with the 5 here, because they'll have to use their other blocker. Leaving our Brûlée still able to swing. Alright, opponent scoops it up here. But yep, like I said right there, we were able to, even with the Blackbeard shutting off our on plays, we were able to stick one Big Mom with it on play, which was really good for us, getting rid of one of their lives and gaining us a life. Because I think if we were at 0 life, which we would have been, if we weren't able to play the 10 drop on play, they probably would have pressured for game that turn, and we may have been in trouble. So yeah, But pudding's a lot of fun. Like I said, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and I'll be putting out the rest of my pudding gameplays for OP09 this week. So make sure you guys stay up to date with that. Make sure, yep. But we'll see you guys in the next one.